Well, yeah, congratulations on the new single, Finish Line. Are you pleased with the response to it so far?
Yeah, I'm really pleased. Like it was a little bit of a slow starter, I think, from On My Own, where it was very up tempo and very kind of like in your face. Finish Line is a little bit more of a different approach. I think for a minute, people were just like, what's going on here? But this like people have it's really sunk in, and people have really kind of got it and embraced it, and I'm just chuffed. That song, I made it over a year ago with Labyrinth, and it got like it's done so much for me. Like that was a song that got people interested in me, like record labels and all sorts. So to kind of now have it out in the world is nice.
I think it's got quite a distinctive sound to it. How would you describe it?
I mean, like it's funny. Everyone always says like, what is your music? How would you describe it? And I think now I just have to describe it as like what the fuck music. When you hear it, you're just like, what the fuck is that? That's the only way. Like it's different, it's fresh. Like it's just a soulful. There's elements of like hip hop, trip hop, break beats. There's I think that my voice is a naturally kind of pop-ish voice, but a lot of the melodies are kind of soulful and kind of R&B influenced. So there's just a million things all in one pot. I mean, I grew up on hip hop and R&B. That's what I was into, and I was a DJ. I still am a DJ. I started DJing 5 years ago, and that's the music that I predominantly was playing. And it's always been a massive influence. I loved the 90s. British music in the 90s was just had so much mood and attitude and sort of just freshness to it. And so that's also a massive inspiration.
You mentioned Labyrinth, who produced it. How did you two meet?
We met through a guy called Master Shorty. It's like a mutual friend of us both. And, Labyrinth was always this character. Like he's one of a kind. Like there's no one else like him. And like when I started recording, I just said to him, like, I really would love to work with you. This was like just before Pass Out and everything was sort of coming out, so it was kind of early days. Early days in the scheme of like everyone knowing who Labyrinth was. But I'd heard a lot of stuff he'd done, and I was a huge fan. And he said yeah, and we got in and we made some music.
And on your album, you already mentioned Labyrinth and Freemasons remixing and stuff, and you've worked with Jamie Smith, Shy FX, and Future Cut.
Diplo as well.
Diplo. What kind of sound can we expect? Is it their traditional sound, or have you put your own spin on it?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. A lot of artists sometimes work with like just one or two producers on a whole record, and I worked with a lot. But the thing is, when I play all the songs back to back, they don't feel like worlds apart. I kind of feel like I've done a good job to tie everything in, and the good thing about working with all these people is they are very diverse as producers. Like Diplo, he's just insane. Like every beat that he presses play on is different from the one before. It's crazy, and I love working with him. Shy FX as well. Like the track that we did is like kind of mid to up tempo breakbeat, and he's known for drum and bass and jungle. So it's like, and he can make hip hop beats and all sorts. And same with Jamie XX. Like he's so creative, and even the stuff that he's doing at the moment in his own personal project is it's very different from the XX stuff, but it's still everyone's got their own kind of identity, and we're all just like-minded people. I think everyone I work with, we're very much on the same page, so we kind of make it all work with each other.